Abusiafo ne for higher Alpha 1G general first time aban so ndidi no book and so subscribe ya man se benye news bia no shibia benye notification of phones na behwa fin so e ma review so be share more than for so enye beti for me nken sam so tin yini nim se ene na court onsensem ene isi onsensem nyina yeden e ba betodwa na ensem a esam George ababo nti meka na more miepa na ne ensem no ka ne chese criminality se ekoso ewo isi ono enya don mejiatum na senya ne nesi abre no ose omomo kokota omunim de omono kwakokyere na okaso omunim de omono kwakokyere na ohya asebobo some criminality se ekoso between the ECJ mensa the Bosman Sarri any Afenyo markings they say no tia yetene chese eye ECJ mensa Afenyo markings any air Bosman Sarri samotete I organize some small meeting bi omama adwin say sa 7 flip city no dia kano mesa ya no masa dia come but enya de besi na esichina eno na Sam George oye NDC ni MP a ababonte Sam woni bi ema ECJ mensa say niema ekoso no se eye court catching say Sam eye beka constituency bi no yen san kwa Re-Collation ye besa akọ enye de momo beka na eye babiti because according to mo ankasa mo constitution no seni neka entinya wo na obeka cheze some presiding officer for be a declare result na ana Durress sena apostle che as if say forcing go for binum any one say some video be security and some George ADD some EC officials for ni biechi o ma dwene say ebia some George air force some presiding officer and say onya no declare result no by omo ankasa personal favor I no near any samanyuko but in this almost say omo pin sheet ni bi the real one enye do ma declare no kamningu ti Sam George ba na dem kuma twana na to aso
so that Patesano and the MPP and the region and the EC at national were compelling him to accept the MPP scan copies. He said that's not what they trained him to do. He if they have scan copies, he wants to see the physical pin sheet because scan copies can be altered. And so where we stand today, I hear there's a meeting today. If the MPP has their pin sheets, they should bring them. If they don't have their pin sheets, they either declare based on what has been done. Anybody who has a challenge should go to court. Let the court then determine that we should go back and if we declare counted 219, the remaining 62, if the court says that we should go back and hold the election in those 62 polling stations because those ballot boxes are here have been damaged in a fire at the Kwashiman school. So there are no ballot boxes to go to. So if the EC says that, look, 62, if the court says that the 62 polling stations can affect the status of the election, you call a re-election in those 62 polling stations. And then but to think that they would declare people to come there, we will resist it and oppose it. So I think that where we sit, the next parliament has a cardinal and critical role to play. We've been given an overwhelming mandate.
Just before you go into that, these 9 seats, and out of the 9, 7 have been declared for the 6 or 7.
I think 7. 7 have been declared as 2 outstanding
in favor of the NPP. Are these guys going to be allowed to register for the next parliament?
As far as I'm concerned, you know, again, I can't speak for the parliamentary service. The parliamentary service does the registrations. But one thing I know, and one thing I am sure of, is that on the 9th of the 6th, when we meet to elect the speaker, those 7 will not be allowed to swear the oath.
Okay.
And this is a solemn promise the NDC group in Parliament, the supermajority, is making to the country. We will not allow that illegality to continue. No, they will be stopped until the matter is properly determined before they come in there. Because you see, we need to understand that people cannot, Afenyo Markins cannot arrogate to himself the decision to determine who becomes a member of parliament, going around and working in cahoots with Jean Mensah and Bosman Asari to do what they want to do. No. We would stop them from being sworn in on the 9th of the 6th until that matter is properly determined by a court. Because don't forget, that declaration, as far as we are concerned, is illegal. It's null and void. Because there was an injunction from a Supreme Court.
Exactly.
There was an injunction application filed at the Supreme Court, And so the EC should have respected that. We will not be party to that illegality and allow it to continue. No. And so we are committed to ensure that on that day, look, we need to form quorum in Parliament. You need 184. In fact, less than, we need 94. Truly and capriciously. That's basically what you're seeing the Electoral Commission do. I mean, it's clear to everybody that in Obuasi East, for example, where that gentleman stood and fought 2 military men who were on an illegal assignment. Yes. And the people of Obuasi East voted for the NDC candidate. He was duly declared as parliamentary candidate elect. And then the Electoral Commission comes to Accra to try and re-announce or re-declare somebody else. That's illegal. And that will not be countenanced. You understand me? In Okaikwe North, and I've heard Bossman Asari, he stopped short of mentioning my name. I think that's cowardice. You know, if he is confident in what he's saying, I'm mentioning his name. He should be bold enough to mention my name. He claims that an MP was laid at his hands and at gunpoint and knife point forced their returning officer.
You have a gun and a knife.
To declare results in Okaikwe Central. First and foremost, Mr. Bossman Asari must know that he's not clothed himself in any glory or dignity in his conduct as Deputy Electoral Commissioner. From his irresponsible comments of saying that the NDC is a threat to our democracy, to his pure partisan behavior, even at IPAC meetings. I mean, and to suggest that Okaikwe Central, Mr. Bossman Asari should show Ghanaians evidence of the returning officer reporting to the Electoral Commission that he made those declarations under duress. Look, there are videos of me walking with the Electoral Commissioner. Yes. The Electoral Commissioner's name is Mr. Degenu, the returning officer for Okaikwe Central. His name is Mr. Degenu. He's alive. He's not dead. What they did at Tesano, they brought somebody who is not the returning officer.
Where was the returning officer?
He refused to show up. He said to them he will not be part of the illegality. And so go and see the declaration that was done. Look, and you see, they have circulated a video of myself and the returning officer. His picture is there. The video of him doing the declaration is there. Now go and take footage of the declaration of Patrick Boama that was done at Tesano and see if it is the same person. Because they have not disputed that the person who did that declaration of Baba Sadiq is the returning officer. They claim he did it under duress. How is it that that returning officer has now changed to a different person? The reason why they asked Êviļ Bright's declaration to be brought back is they claim that a different returning officer did her declaration.
Yeah.
Now they have gone to find another person, not the returning officer, Mr. Degenu, Courage Degenu, to do the declaration. So that declaration of Patrick Boama is null and void and of no consequence. It's an illegality, and everybody involved. Look, the individual who went there on whoever's instruction to pretend to be the returning officer is a criminal.
Exactly.
Because what he's done is pure criminal. To pretend
to be somebody,
to be a public officer, declaring an election when you are not. And I think that we must ensure that the law works for once to serve as a deterrent to people. So that's the Okaikwe Central issue. And yes, look, people say, oh, you did a declaration with 110 out of 141 polling stations. Absolutely, nobody is disputing that. But you see, as the NDC, we would not accept a situation where the NPP claim that they did not have their pink sheets, but they have scanned copies of pink sheets. Yeah. You can only have a scanned copy when you have the original to scan. We demanded to see those scanned, the original copies of the scan. They didn't present them. Then the Electoral Commission brings master sheets. And in those 31 polling stations, you realize that one, the handwriting is the same. How do you expect me, And people say, what was my business there? I was there as an agent of the party. We had completed in Ningo Pram Pram on Sunday. This activity at the regional office was on Monday. And the party is at liberty to determine who becomes their representation. Exactly. At the time, I was there with Peter Boama Otukuno, Fred Owari, in their capacity as what? For Patrick Boama. They were allowed to be there. So when people say, what was Sam George's business there? I was there as my party's agent. Excellent. I had legal locus there. Yeah. I had accreditation from the Electoral Commission to be there. The regional director, Madame Pinkra, actually, when we pointed out that the consistency of handwriting on the 31 master sheet was so shell-shocked, she said she wanted the police to immediately investigate the matter because this was criminal. Her words. So how do you expect me, as an agent, to accept 31 fraudulent master pink sheets, master sheets, collation sheets, declaration forms? I won't. And that's why we said we will not accept them. And Mr. Fred Owari and Frank Davis, myself and Otukuno had a meeting there where we agreed that given the challenges with those 31, once the 110, there were no challenges, we should proceed with that. Anybody who had a challenge could then go to court, because the only way to determine what really went on, there are two routes in those 31 polling stations, was to go back into the ballot boxes and recount the ballot papers in the ballot boxes, or to rehold the election in those 31 polling stations. But the Electoral Commission does not have the power to do so. Only a high court has the power to declare any of those two directions. And so what you do is you declare what is not in contention. If someone is aggrieved, they go to court, and the court will give a direction.
Abuja voneti for inat nsema Sam George de betu dwa ne ne abri pa na okasa na uti ne nsem na okana o say esa 7 flip a seat na amount for dream say Akroma MPP PC for including another plan and niaji bo say bushire ni ade no memma na ninja krampo because 9th of beka January na ye be some speaker for buying speaker and bar in the best as a lady. Na that time no and or no me MP elect no ye be so in our be MP for that constituency no. Ba mom phantom adwum krampo say o mi say won shade nim de ba kwesi but betima ka no the NDC form I can't say the NDC plan or more Afenyo and ya the more nyoma dwen say BS 7 flip a signal da more mono be more like or more come money aje or more bo seni and the into like a wie na de any like ye pe cry ba in a parliament me en kwosene ade ade into mo pass na be a NDC amanyo kwentimi nya 2/3 or say more be amfasa ade ne ento madwum da because 7 flip seat no and the form na constituency parliament they not don pray enjoy the church no say ono the oye den or say ba na was our be leader ne when you sa adwene mfitim because you ba also ba be the majority den mo ma ba be nkokon nketenkete into ba be minority shape and answer den nipa ono kwa kudi na chia ono ye Afenyo marking so kwa kwatene to because you see no formation I feel some George Obane say more evidence I just say Afenyo markings any ECJ mensa any boss masari no mtimi kwhye kokom no mo ye niema meeting hodonya no mo ye niema to more evidence meeting prove it am court for meeting prove it am beka judges for more court into we no can say enkrofa omo declare omo ebeka omo declare some seat be to say fans be bright na ade ni declare so no mum na ewini no Evans a presiding officer nitiso na wona declare be bright na almost Re-Collation na was nkasa presiding officer na like nitiso no esa declare ono beka be bright and asasa constituency no o declare say be Re-Collation no the outcome is this, it is win na another presiding officer onu mama ba beginem no declare results no crampo dem say ma shi crampo na sane ma ekoso no like I say kwakwa yese nkura group bi no mudi but niema ekoso nya do majatum na ajatum kira all the criminalities no omo evidence o ma che say saa 7 flip seat no enya de befa kofo bu ho a omo fight omdo mo kwato ye hwe sam NDC man na oni 2 military man for tiginae ebo mo sonson aize sa video na babonte no Sam George say obo no sa man for boss is so boss is no ekosi sa incident ni kosi nya de a sa brand no effort no put in e be kwada I was just obanfa so I was say de like food to that NDC man or yes ade no enti mo bi amfa to na adwum say na den to mo original copy of the pin sheet na omo dwen say e bia damage ni bia ira no mo ho copy to ma ma just ma say Re-Collation so ma so na be meet ma say declare BPD a agroko no mudi to mo like declare so mo the new veka the MP late new one I do moko parliament omunisa adwin from omadwin Kavin go to Sam George back ne dem commercial I dan to aso
on what to do. It does not lie in Jean Mensah's mouth or Bosman Asari's mouth to determine what to do. In the case of Êviļ Bright, declaration has been done. Collation of all the pink sheets had been done. She had won. Now you claim that the person who did the declaration is not the right person. Okay, let the right person come and do the declaration. And then you claim that you are now manufacturing your own figures again. That will not hold. In the case of Ablekuma North, Rabina Oben, Êviļ, who is the MPP candidate, shows up there. 281 polling stations. Yet she has 281 scanned pink sheets. No fiscal pink sheets. Again, the Electoral Commission at the time, they had 108 onto their collation system before the attack. So what we did was we agreed that since there are 3 parties in the collation, the Electoral Commission, the NDC and the NP, where 2 of the 3 parties can agree on the numbers, we would accept it. So once the EC had 160, we had our pink sheets. We had 245 of our pink sheets out of 281. The rest got damaged. We had the fiscal pink sheets. So what we will do is we will verify the 160 the EC had. They can also use their scan to verify, but we will verify with the EC. So we verified the 160 from the EC and then continued to do another 56. We also checked their so-called scan and said they agreed with them. We took a break on Monday at 8:45 p.m. Now, if Bosman Asari says that the presiding officer in Ablekuma North was also under duress, he's called Mr. Obeng. Mr. Obeng left. If I had put him under duress, and he stayed there till 8:45. We closed and he went home to Kwashiman. Slept, woke up in the morning, and picked the vehicle and came back again the following day.
And he was still under threat.
What kind of duress is that? If the man was under duress and went home, why did he come back? He came back and declared the results because he said he would not accept pinches. And you see, I must commend Mr. Obeng because he showed up at Tesano. And when he showed
that not just in the presidential but also in the parliamentary speaks to one thing, and like I say, it speaks to the will of God in the affairs of men. It speaks to the resilience of our leader. It speaks to the resilience of our executive, the resilience of our party. Remember that the National Democratic Congress today, and yesterday I saw a comment that the whole country is actually green, literally. And as I say every day, this is actually a party of broad mass appeal. And I remember my father said those days, broad-based the best, when UNC was on top of his game. It reminds me of those days all over again. This is something that is completely unprecedented.
You know my joy.
Yes.
Going through town, going on the flight, going through the airports, and everybody keeps whispering.
But that's not the best part. It is also looking at it from the 2017. And now everybody will tell you very quickly, oh, forget it, he ain't coming back. It's not going to happen.
NDC
completely. Party no gu. I mean, I remember asking someone, what does that phrase mean? You know, I mean, 8 years later, you know.
See what the Lord has done.
Yes, but certainly, Mr. Mahama has actually told all of us about the 120-day, you know, agreement, the contract that he's signing with the good people of Ghana. We all will be part of that success story when the 120th day approaches. And I know that he actually has taken very, very quick steps to start very quickly to work on the things that actually matter to the good people of Ghana. We wish him well. We wish him success strength.
Asking him to show which law permits the Electoral Commission to recollate. And he quotes Regulation 43 and 47 of CI 143 and I think Article 40 of the Constitution, none of which actually empower the Electoral Commission to do recollation. I've seen the tweets from the Electoral Commission suggesting that in 2004 there was a recollation again. Again, that's factually incorrect. I've spoken to persons who were at the Electoral Commission at the time, directors at the Electoral Commission at the time, and they've been very clear on what happened. It was in Pro East. It was not a recollation. There was no recollation done at the time. And so what the Electoral Commission has done is illegal. It's in contempt of a Supreme Court injunction. And so all the persons who carried out that exercise are liable for contempt of court. And I believe that it's important that we lay down the gauntlet and set a precedent so that people do not abuse arbitrarily powers that have been given to them. In fact, the conduct of the Electoral Commission is what the Constitution warns about in Article 2.
For any information about now, so I made it for Pamas and Omtisan, so I was a yes and good. So, concern about some illegalities be a air coso or ECJ mensa, any and Yema and a PC or court in Yano, a home formation Yana could see if some Georgia or the Emunchi more emudo, Ediamagana Funina say, Wana ye declare me say, or me the winner or me any PC a be bright near the Adeno. Mom sign your margin says Uncle Fonayas are twisted yama and be manucon on Bomadine dominates Parliament. Because on the 9th na a speaker for phone. Sardina edit some MP late for your bed, so in. Now Omega can see many idea. Sa 7 flip Sydney Dama MP manucono. Sa MP for now not on bringing account. And ya dear on mutum nesio. NDC for Nakasabe block your a gate. Senebe or Muntim compoint in Mura, chamber or compoint Mura. So Barbary sure dear fine. Pass over Bura Parliament pass or quack nasi. And answer like Obabesu and be able to put to power or Parliament. Because near my moye de ma esa MP for na or 1 year 70 taco sitting in a jumten 90 crampon. My margin said it, Tibia Moma and is a manuconia to dead. But Mumpu, Mamma did to 10 a baby before mine. Because my margin is embedded. More better strategy a year, the ruling of a John Dramine Mamma, Nenya de Befa. They are known a year began some Georgia had a babonting. It is some Xpósêd be no the if you boss my sorrow. Or say boss my saki can simbi, no zenko born no a year some George Ding, then so I'm bonny ding. No, what na catch and say boss man sorry. The man now can TV stations no not me and I will refer to. Now evidence I've done so evidence of Beba. I will catch the a Ghana food and say some MP be free NDC nibi and video be na dino did presiding officer energy and same Fatania did Nipaconi declares on the Durress generated. Kikaki camp of Ghana for some tiase. Be no force will be as own declare results no and no and as I'm Georgia near Brio can boss us and patchen. We not the one yama ECJ mensa any Afenyo markings meeting your more ye cinema message as I just sit in be as I come on and ya dear befa and only near more could prove you our court to and yes be our can get you or more could prove your court. Now the majesties for no and ya dear be like I be a fedia crocra. Okay, can't beat my that chair or comment beat me so I share more down for so any biashi. I hire for 1 Akroma.